Oh, good morning. Oh, how you doing today? Yeah, what, me? Oh, mate, super duper, as usual, always super duper. Today is day 3, and this is the one I've been waiting for. Not this morning, not gonna lie, feeling a little bit tender, a little bit sore, but hey, day 3, hump day. Usually in my experience so far, day 3's sort of been the make or break day, you know, like, if you bail after day 3 or on day 3, then bang, you're off the wagon again. But if you can push through day 3, 4, if you get through that sort of the first real period of struggle, I think it sort of gets easier after that. But hey, who knows? Could just keep getting worse and worse, and it's all downhill from here. I guess there's only one way to find out.
It's all downhill. Don't worry. I said earlier, no, it's all downhill. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, there's day 3, banged out. My God, I'm shaking like a leaf. I actually managed to get some yoga in at the end of that one, so it just goes to show you go at your own pace. I guess you end up just sort of stacking things on anyway, progressively. So, just wanted to talk a little bit today about diet. I suppose that's sort of the next thing that was on my mind, or that is on my mind, is what's the way to go with diet. So one of the things that I think a lot of people find discouraging when they start exercising is that, if you've already got pretty bad eating habits, you start working out, and if your eating habits don't adjust straight away, you end up feeling really guilty because you're fucking working out, and then you go and binge on Krispy Kremes or get KFC or some shit, and then it's like, oh well, that's pretty much all my workouts just out the window in one shot, so why even bother continuing? Firstly, I'd like to just say that when it comes to diet and exercise, the two things tend to go hand in hand, right? So once you get one locked down, the other one usually comes afterwards. And then once you're, eating healthy and exercising regularly, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So do you start exercising and then adjust your diet as you go? Or do you start eating healthy and then once you get into a habit, you're happy with your dietary habits, then you go into exercise? I've been thinking about this for a long time because I've tried it both ways, as I said, coming on and off the wagon. And I think what the trick is it's just do whatever's easier first, and then trust that the other thing's going to link in later. So for me, it's always easier exercising first. Me, I'm a fat kid at heart. When I was younger, I used to eat so much junk food. I fucking love lollies, cake, ice cream. Ugh. Right, I can't get enough of it. So diet's always a big problem for me, having that self-discipline. But exercise, as I said, because I find exercise enjoyable when I'm doing it at the right pace, it's always easier to make that a habit first. But then once I start exercising, my body obviously needs better nutrients to fuel itself. And so I will just naturally start making healthier choices over time without even consciously doing it. And once again, it's like this weird thing, like the more structured, the more routine, the more set in stone I make these things for myself, the harder it is to follow. I write down, you're going to eat this, these are your macros, blah, 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 and you're going to do this much routine. It's sort of taught a lot that that's what you should do to keep yourself accountable. But on the other hand, you do that too much, and it's really easy to get discouraged because if you go a day and you don't tick off every single one of those boxes, you just feel like, what a waste of time. When that's not it at all. Like, if you can just tick off 1 or 2 of those boxes, if you go from completely sedentary lifestyle, eating terrible food all day, and then one day you go for a walk in the morning and you replace one meal, say your breakfast, instead of going out and getting like fucking a big fry up, you just go for some muesli or maybe a smoothie, and then the rest of the day it's pretty much the same. That's still an improvement, right? If you don't acknowledge that, then you get discouraged. It seems really obvious when I spell it out like this, right? Like, this stuff sort of seems like common sense, but it's really not. And this is the reason people have such a hard time with it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to diet is how to diet effectively. And this is the hard one, right? So there's as many fad diets out there as there are you know, celebrities willing to flog them. And everyone's always looking for that, like that one, you know, oh, this is the one that's going to fix all. And a lot of people know this, but I'm just going to say it anyway, and everyone's said it 1,000 times before, but there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all diet. It doesn't fucking exist, okay? Just because some person that weighed like 120 kilos went on this diet and then, you know, they shedded a whole bunch of weight in like no time flat, doesn't mean that's going to work for you. Everyone is completely unique. And that's what it comes down to. Everyone has completely unique dietary requirements, okay? Like you can go to a macro calculator, you can figure out how much fat, how much protein, how much carbohydrates you need. But at the end of the day, that's like all based on averages, right? And what is an average person? Everyone's different. So, unpopular opinion here, but personally, I think the best way to get yourself onto a good diet is literally just trust your instincts. And this is really dumb because it's like, oh, well, you know, my instincts tell me that I should eat a sausage roll for lunch. It's like, no, your instincts don't tell you that. Your impulses tell you that. Your instincts are the ones in the back, is the part in the back of your head when you're about to get the sausage roll, that little voice that says, oh, maybe, I mean, you could go for like a salad wrap today. And you go, nah, sausage roll's cheaper. Your instincts are the ones in the back of your head, you know, on a Sunday night saying, oh, maybe you should prep your meal for tomorrow, you know, pack yourself a nice healthy lunch. And you go, oh, no, I got to go to bed, you know, I got a hard day's work tomorrow, better off getting some more rest, I'll just buy my work, fuck it, I'll wing it. At the end of the day, you know what's bad for you. You do, right? Because every time you fuck up your diet, you know you fucked up. Almost as soon as you do it, you know. As soon as you go and get that KFC meal, as soon as you get something from Hungry Jack's, as soon as you sub out, you know, a nice healthy muesli and yogurt breakfast for a bowl of Crunchy Nut, you know. You know, and if you didn't know, then you would never come down on yourself, you'd never fall off the wagon, and you would, you know, always be feeling great because, oh, well, you know, I'm just eating the way I'm supposed to eat. No. So, I think the best way to diet literally just comes down to not eating stupid shit. People have a general understanding of what's healthy. Nobody thinks KFC is healthy. Nobody thinks a bowl of Fruit Loops is healthy. You know, some people might think, you know, there's a bit of ambiguity. For instance, like if I asked 100 people, a bowl of Just Right, is that a good balanced breakfast or not? You know, 50-50, who knows? But the thing is, whether it's good or bad, a bowl of Just Right is sort of 50-50, right? It's not the best thing in the world. It probably has a little bit too much sugar, too many carbs in it, sure, but it's not as bad as a bowl of Fruit Loops or Cocoa Pops, so you could probably get away with it, right? Especially if you're being conscientious about the other meals you eat in a day. Now, the total wrong thing to do is, once again, be a tyrant to yourself. You know, you set yourself this regime and say, you know, well, I can only eat X amount of muesli with the spinach, with this protein supplement for breakfast at this time, and then I can only eat fruit and vegetables for the rest of the day, and then my dinner's going to be this. And then this is the thing that happens, right? You go from eating a massively oversaturated, fatty, carb-heavy diet to nothing but lean proteins, and it's like, and greens and vegetables, and it's like your calorie deficit just goes through the floor, right? And so by the end of the day, because you made such a hard switch with no compromise, you're completely flat, right? And this, I hear this happen to people all the time. You're like, yeah, I got on this diet, and they'll go for maybe 2 or 3 days tops, and it's shocking how fast it happens. But then they'll come to me and say, oh yeah, well, last night I sort of had a bit of a binge, because you completely lose your mind, right? Because you're running on so few calories that you're used to running on, because you're on this strict fucking regimen that you just snapped onto with absolutely no transition. By the end of the day, your body's just craving more calories, right? And so you go for the easiest thing to pack that up. And at this point, your logical brain, your prefrontal cortex, that's gone, right? That's shut down. You're not running on logic, you're running on survival. So that animal, the monkey part of your brain that's like, feed me, feed me, feed me, that's the only thing that you can hear. And so that part of you, oh my God, the camera's shaking everywhere, his muscles all jacked up. All right, so the part that's yelling, feed me, that's the only part that you can hear. That's the only part that is responsive right now. So then you completely break down, you run down to Macca's or KFC and you buy yourself this massive feed and you just gorge, or you like order 3 pizzas or Uber Eats or some shit. And this has happened to me so many times. You like black out and wake up and you're just like covered in pizza grease and bits of chicken skin. There's fucking boxes everywhere. You're just like, oh no, what have I done? And then once again, off the wagon, there you go. Congratulations, you played yourself. It's just two things, right? Firstly, if you want to have a healthier diet and exercise regime, pick one. Just go with that. Don't focus on the other one. For now, I'm not focusing on my diet, right? I know that that's going to fix up over time, right? All I'm focusing on as far as my diet goes is trying to make the conscientiously healthier choices when I can. Like, I'm about to go inside and grab some brekkie now. There's a box of Sultana bran up on the cupboard. There's some toast. There's some like Plus or whatever the fuck cereal it is. Now, I wouldn't mind some toast, but peanut butter on toast probably wouldn't be so bad. But then again, we got white bread, so white bread's a bit sketchy as far as, you know, empty carbs go. So I'll probably just go with the Sultana brand, something with some fiber. Tastes alright. I like Sultana brand, and I'm not really sure about that Plus stuff, but you know, either one of those would probably be fine, and I'll be fine, right? Just because it's not like a super fucking macro micronutrient rich fucking smoothie with all the bee's knees in it doesn't mean that it's an unacceptable breakfast, right? It's fine. And then for lunch, who knows? I'll probably just have a couple of pieces of fruit. And then if I'm really hungry for dinner, I'll just make sure that whatever I'm eating, I'll eat a little bit more or whatever. So for me, work on the exercise, the one that takes, the one that I enjoy more, the one that I find easier to discipline myself towards. And then just try to be a bit more conscientious about food. Now, on the flip side, if you know you can control your diet, but you're having a hard time getting exercise, then just do that, okay? Fact is, even if you're not doing any exercise at all, if you're a little bit overweight, right? If you're not in the shape you want to be in, if you just start making those small adjustments to your diet, you know, having like one less beer a night, swapping out your breakfast for something a little bit more health conscious, not going for that sausage roll at lunch, those little choices, right? You make those little choices consistently, and you'll get results anyway, right? And then, as I said, that habit will feed into itself. You won't want to go for the unhealthier stuff eventually. And then once you start eating healthier, you'll have more energy, right? You'll have more life, you'll have more vigor. And so you'll be inspired to start working out. You already want to, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me. So all you need is that little bit of a spark to get going, right? So either way, exercise, diet, just pick one, go for it. And just keep the other one in the back of your mind. And then eventually they'll link up. Don't know why it works that way, all right? Some clever science man out there probably knows why, but I don't fucking know. I just know that it works, all right? And if it doesn't work, what do you got to lose by giving it a shot, all right? All I'm suggesting is, once again, don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Take it easy. Go with the flow. Okay, now, to finish this off, I just want to say, obviously, none of this is absolute for everyone. Now, I know that there are people who can just switch, go to a hard diet. You know, they just go keto or paleo diet, pick one of these things, and then just go down. You know, I've met people that have taken on the carnivore diet. That's worked out really well for them. I know people that have just decided one day, you know, well, I'm going to get fit. And then they just get up, go to the gym, and they smash it every single day, and then they lose heaps of weight in no time at all. So if you can do that, good on you, 100%. Like, go for it, you know? But if you can't do that, don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, chill out. Go easy on yourself. As long as you're making small improvements every single day, it all accumulates, right? Also, I'd like to finish this video off just by giving you my 2 cents on, I guess you'd call it a myth of fitness, okay? And that's cheat days. What do I think of cheat days? I've heard both sides of the story. I've heard some people say, you know, well, if you go for like a deficit all week, then you can have more than one cheat day, you know. Or some people say, no, you can't have cheat days at all. Cheat days are a cop out. They're bullshit for lazy people. I have to say I fall somewhere in the middle of those. 1 day a week. 1 day a week is absolutely fine. In fact, I encourage it. God made the 7th day Sabbath for a reason, right? Like you need a day to have a break. If you're putting yourself into an intense situation. Now that being said, make sure that it is only 1 day, right? So you give yourself that day off, you can eat whatever you want, you don't have to go to the gym, awesome. Then the next day, back to self-development, back to being disciplined. The reason I say this is because 2 days usually turns into 3 days, turns into 4 days, turns into 5 days, off the wagon, self-flagellation, you see where it goes. One day, you reward yourself, you treat yourself, you feel good, then the next day, back into it. Then not only do you get to have a cheat day where you still get to enjoy the things you like, which, you know, that's what life's for, right? But also, when you go back to living with a bit of discipline the next day, when you pick yourself back up after that cheat day, you give yourself that little bit of incentive and then you put it down, it actually empowers you, right? Because you feel like, okay, so I do have that self-control. Oh, all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today. Oof. Oh, this video's gone for a little bit longer than I was expecting. Hey, been great having a chat, reinforcing some of the stuff that I've been trying to tell myself. I've actually found this whole exercise really helpful. What are you up to, Ferris? Say hi. Hi. I'm gonna have a shower now, but if there's anything that I've said that you found helpful or insightful or anything like that, or if you have any questions, make sure to write a comment down below, and if you could leave a like, maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. Much appreciated. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Much love, see you around.